history, read all about it. My name's Karen, I like rom-coms.
Pip cheerio. My name's Jaren, and I like when you can't tell if someone is a genius or just real dumb.
I believe both like the natural charm of being poor.
And this is...
Just kiss already.
Hey, Kara, when was the last time you read a newspaper?
Ooh, like an actual hard copy newspaper?
Yeah.
Cannot, couple of years, 10 years, a lot. I used to read, like, the comics. I don't think I read anything else.
Me neither.
Oh. Wow, wouldn't you know what today's episode is about?
Dying forms of media.
Yay!
We love to see it.
Good thing podcasts aren't one of those.
Honestly, it's kind of great that, like, the newspaper was in trouble back when this was released years and years ago.
Oh my god. How long has it been in trouble for?
It's like taking a long time to leave.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
it's holding on.
have you seen where it's like you can get the news now, but it's like subscription services on your phone?
No, I don't think. Maybe?
Like, yeah, it's like, I remember trying to, like, read something that was, like, a New York Times article, and it was, like...
yeah, where you have to, like, make an account.
Yeah, or it's, like, a
Yeah.
paywall, and it's like, isn't this the news?
I know. Everything's free on social media anyway, though, so, like...
Yeah, why would I, like, pay the New York Times when, like...
Someone on Twitter will tell me.
Yeah, Walter Cronkite in his picture is a Kronk from Emperor's New Groove
Yes.
in a suit.
It better be. There's
He can
no
tell
other
me
option.
in 140 characters or less.
Yeah.
Government.
Snapchat will tell me. Dude, literally anybody. TikTok will tell me now.
TikTok will tell me, and it will be, like, a very attractive person doing it while
Yeah.
a song plays.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
That's how I get all my news.
Exactly. That's how I wish to receive all future news.
Oh yeah, only if the person is 6 foot tall and super strong, and we always get along.
And their shirt is disappearing when they turn their back to the
Maybe they should have had an Ouran High School TikTok club.
You know what? A missed opportunity. They should have invented the app.
When you went to school,
Uh-huh.
did you have a newspaper club? Because at my school, we did not.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had one. We had a pretty, like, well fleshed out journalism club. I remember the, like, main ones were newspaper and then, of course, yearbook club. And I didn't participate in any, but I was, like, a lot of my friends were on the yearbook, so I was, like, a well-known name, I guess, among the yearbook. And I was actually kind of, like, a kind of infamous in the yearbook club, because they had a thing where every year they wanted to make sure that everybody was in the yearbook 3 times. That was their
Aw.
goal. Everybody 3 times.
It's really nice.
Yeah. Not including their, like, you know, the mandatory photo.
Yeah.
Like 3 other times. However, I apparently ended up in too many photos.
Very good.
And so they were constantly trying to find all of the photos that they liked, I would be somewhere in them. And so it was like a thing. And I remember my best friend would always be like, yeah, dude, the teacher's like, no more Kara.
I love the idea of, like, they have their tally list of, like, all the students' names, and it's like, okay, 1, 2, 3, and then it's like you just scroll down, and it's like Kara's got like 5 groups of 5
just
tick
constantly.
marks.
I think I just did a lot of things, and I just was present around. Like, the yearbook members were my friends, so like I was around when they were taking pictures, I guess.
Yeah.
But I remember they did a spread for, like, the school musical, which I was one of the leads in, so obviously I was going to be in pictures. And they tried their very best, because I was one of the people in, like, the big main picture, they tried to make sure I wasn't in any of the other pictures. And I remember when the yearbook came out, it was not noted that I was in all the other pictures, but I opened it and I was like, so you see this picture? That's me in the back.
Oh.
And there were like 4 pictures that I was in.
Incredible.
And I was like, I don't know what to tell you.
That's so great.
Yeah, I wreaked absolute havoc because I would not stop being in pictures.
It's like some like scary stuff too.
Whoops.
It's like there's gonna be somebody who finds the yearbook like 7 years later, and they're like, "This is the school that my grandma mysteriously disappeared from. Who is this girl in all of these pictures? Is she turning towards as we go further through the book? She's getting closer."
I'm just so photogenic. What can I say?
Very good.
But you said you didn't even have a newspaper.
No, I remember I went to elementary school. It was my first year of public school in 3rd grade. And I had seen that, like, school newspaper was a thing, but I didn't realize that was, like, middle high school. So I was 8 years old, like, trying to get the motion going for a school newspaper for my 3rd grade class.
Trying to start your empire.
Oh, yeah. I was, like, big in love with Microsoft Word at that age.
Oh, yeah.
So I was, like, trying to make, like a what do they call that? Not a newspaper fold, maybe, where it's like...
Like a newsletter?
Yeah, I was trying to make, like, a newsletter for my class, and I'm like, but we were all here every day, so everybody knew what happened. It was kind of wholly unnecessary.
You just wanted to reiterate.
I wanted the hat. You know, the hat with, like, the little press pass in it. Wow, what's the scoop? Yeah, I just wanted
You wanted the press pass so you could go into events?
I wanted journalism LARPing.
Exactly. Oh, man. Well, you know who else has a newspaper club?
People who shouldn't.
Ouran High School. They have one, and it's not doing so hot.
It's so cute the way this episode opens with them being like, how many did we sell today? 2
2 copies, sir.
Did you buy one?
Of course I bought one, sir.
What about you? Did you buy one?
Of course I bought one, sir.
So it's like, all right, so nobody outside the club bought our newspaper.
It would seem that way, sir.
And then they pan out and the room is just like stacked full of their unsold newspapers, which is the saddest, best thing ever.
Yeah. So the newspaper club at Ouran is trying to gain traction, and they think the key is the host club, who everybody loves.
Yeah, and like I forget that the host club publishes. Because they're just outselling the school newspaper by a mile.
He's like, and how many copies did the host club's Love, Date Your Favorite Host LARPing manual, Choose Your Own Adventures? And they're like,
wow.
That would be 1 million copies.
Yeah, wow, they sold out instantly.
They're actually on their 4th reprint.
I didn't get one.
Yeah, so we've got the meddling newspaper club who's trying to get the scoop on the host club, or maybe specifically Tamaki, because for some reason the president of the newspaper club is like, Tamaki, my mortal enemy who probably doesn't know my name. I must discover his dark side.
This was a good episode because they were trying to, I thought they were trying to scoop him, but they were actually trying to swoop him.
Swoop!
Yeah. And the host club is like playing Prince games outside in the garden. Where like just perfectly for the newspaper club to like turn around and look over at
They're
them.
having a historically accurate day, I guess, where they've decided they must play commoner games.
And they all have extensions.
Yes. Oh, yes. The most important thing is that everybody has extensions in.
And then Tamaki kicks a handball like a mile away through the room and hits the newspaper club president.
Yeah.
Which becomes like the inciting guilt trip for the rest of this episode.
They're like, oh, you hurt us. Maybe you should help us. And Tamaki's like, oh my god, we should.
Of course I'm
and everyone's
gonna help
like,
you.
No.
This, yeah.
Absolutely not. Why would we do that? And Tamaki has to like become a dog.
He has to become more of a dog.
Yeah, he has to like put on the puppy dog eyes, the Puss in Boots, you know. And for first to get Haruhi, and then I think the twins, and then Kyoya is last.
It's so great the way that Haruhi is just like, she's learned to see the writing on the wall. So when Tamaki is pouting in the corner, hasn't even changed back into his uniform, she looks over at him and she goes, we should just help him because soon he's gonna start doing that thing.
Yeah.
And then we're all gonna do it anyway.
He's, you know, when he wants us to do something and we all say no, and then he, you know, looks at us and we all say yes. I feel like that's what's gonna happen here, and that's exactly what happens. Because once Kyoya says, you know what, I guess, everybody's like, well, if Kyoya's on board.
Yeah, I mean, the shadow president.
I mean, we gotta do it.
So Kyoya goes to visit newspaper clubman, and he gives him like a box of medicine. And he's like, this is my family's first aid kit for your noggin.
He's like, for your head.
And then Mr. Club President is like, hey, do you mind if I spill my motivation real quick?
Yeah, he's like, I need to monologue.
He's like, hey, you're from an important family. I'm being passed over like it's the Godfather too. And I'm out here trying to, you know, salvage my non-existent legacy by any means necessary.
He's like, I'm trying to be the breadwinner. I don't understand.
He's like, I don't like my stinky little brother who's better at business than I am.
Yeah, it's unfair.
And then Kyoya's like, noted, and leaves.
Yeah, Kyoya literally just stands there as he monologues, and then he's kind of like, okay.
He's like, I've got points.
Yeah. Bye. So then we get into this whole, the newspaper club is trying to get the dirt on the host club. They're like, Tamaki is evil and we're gonna prove it. And Tamaki just continues to be the wonderful himbo that he is.
Very good.
Not an evil thing happens. They even try to be like, so Haruhi, you hate these guys, right? And she's like, not really.
Yeah, he's literally like doing that thing where he like pulls Haruhi aside and he's like, all right, you can tell me the truth. Like, tell me about his dark side and maybe I can like get you out of here discreetly.
Yeah.
And she just turns to him and she's like, he does not have a dark side.
Haruhi's like, no, he's just that stupid.
Yeah.
And nice. I don't know what to tell you.
His head is very pretty and also entirely empty. In the background, they're just playing red light, green light.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah, that's the best thing is that he comes down being like, I can't wait to see the secrets of the host club. And they're like, so today we're playing games. And he's like, well, and what is the purpose of this? And they're like, it's fun.
Literally, Tamaki is trying so earnestly to help this newspaper club. He's like, I think the perfect thing to revamp your image is just like images of us playing outside.
Yeah,
and,
he's like, oh, it's like a fun, refreshing, you know, like...
We love to be refreshed.
Yeah.
And then they play Kick the Can.
Yes, that is the next game on the line.
And Tamaki does his special move again and ends up hitting the club president with a sick ricochet.
Yeah, he's got a sick... Like, that is definitely first pick for the kickball team.
He watches a lot of Ice Shield.
What?
No, Ice Shield's the football anime.
Okay, I still don't...
There's a soccer anime.
I know Haikyuu.
Oh.
I know Kuroko no Basket. I know of Free. That's the swimming one.
Yes.
I've also never seen Kuroko no Basket. I just know of it.
Oh, I love K&B.
I think that's all the sports I've got for you.
It's good. I sometimes watch the Olympics, but
Yuri on Ice is the ice skating one.
Oh, history maker.
It's also
absolutely.
gay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Love Yuri on Ice.
Yeah.
Shout out. So they run into the Rose Garden, Tamaki and Haruhi, as like their hiding place, while Kyoya is the one who has to find the can.
Yes.
And while they're there, Haruhi and Tamaki start talking, and he's like, "Man, this is great." And she's like, "Yeah, being outside." And he's like, "No, having friends."
Yeah, Haruhi makes a comment that's like, man, I really didn't think that once I got into high school I'd be playing games like this. And Tamaki just kind of launches into straight like, I didn't have friends nor get to play games like this because I had a troubled childhood.
Yeah, he's like,
and we're like, oh.
He's like, my mama was always very ill, so I sat by her bedside and played the piano.
And Haruhi's like, oh yeah.
That's so cool. And then there's like a big gay white rose on the ceiling.
Yeah, of course.
Like, oh, we love it. The white rose in the sea of red roses. A rare blonde boy.
A rare blonde boy.
Well,
while they have escaped to the gazebo, the rest of the host club is having a chit chat with the newspaper club, basically being like, "Hey, we see through your shit, and we don't want you to do it anymore."
Newspaper guy storms off, and like he's literally ranting, being like, "All right, I'm just gonna have to make up lies. I didn't find any evidence, but I know that they're doing shit bad, so time to lie." And I was like, oh, this is going to be so good. Like, they're going to just... Yeah. I had an idea of what I thought was going to happen, and then I realized there's 4 minutes left in the episode, and it did not.
Damn it.
But I would have loved it, too.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, Kyoya reveals that,
we bugged your room!
Yeah, we broke your privacy and maybe a couple laws, but it's okay because we're rich.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay because we're rich, and it's okay because you were mean first.
Literally. So. And there was this very cute moment where he's like, so, Tamaki is using his family's influence to get you guys to get me.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be so bad if the host club got me.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
I sure hope the host club doesn't get me.
Ooh, I hope 6 muscular boys don't come in here
and get me. And Kyoya's like, nope, we're just friends who have a school club.
Yeah.
Thank you, though.
We get, like, cute little flashbacks of Tamaki recruiting everybody in, like, his middle school uniform or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, you twins don't seem like you have anything to do.
This is when I wrote down, ooh, I love him, Tamaki.
And he has a little hand puppet when he's talking to Honey.
The bunny.
He's like, and then literally the one for Maury is so good because it's no words. They just
Yeah.
exchange a thumbs up, and they're like, "Host club,
Host club. Yeah, we get a little glimpse into everybody from before the host club.
It's so cute.
Yeah. And then we end with learning that, surprise, surprise, Tamaki, while we know rich and powerful like everybody else, he's the school's chairman's son!
Oh, yeah.
Yay!
Which, to be honest, that makes a lot of sense, because the newspaper club guy is like, yeah, they don't have an advisor, and they're not a sports or a cultural club, so it's like, they are actually breaking rules. But he was a dick about it.
Yeah.
And so he loses.
Yeah, that's the thing, is he said good points, but he was not nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like when we had the Lobelia Club, and they made valid points, however, they were being mean about it.
Yeah. And then we were vindicated because later they were alligators.
Yeah, exactly.
We saw them later. They were alligators.
Exactly. Robot alligators, no less.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I guess the kind of, like, main boy this episode was this newspaper head.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we got to kind of see an interesting, like, comparison to how the host club is with this like other head of an organization and how he views being in charge and being in power and stuff.
It was a very kind of eye-opening episode because like we think of the host club as just like this amicable, well, at least I think of it as, it's like a plot device. Like, we don't think about how they're not a cultural or a sports club or that they don't have an advisor, even though that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it exists to be a vehicle for fun shenanigans.
Yeah.
And learning about these characters. And then seeing this club that's like, we are failing, and the president is using his family influence to be like, you guys do what I say, or my family will sever ties to your family's companies. Which is like, that's intrigue, and that's very shitty. But he goes one step further by projecting that onto Tamaki.
Yeah.
And it's really weird the way that he's like, I'm doing this, so it must be normal, or like, this must be what other people are doing.
I actually think it's really interesting because that kind of attitude is very common in plot lines that revolve around characters that are rich and powerful. That's like, I mean, like, you know, we watched, it wasn't directly this because they were full-grown adults, but we watched Coffee Prince, and there was kind of that idea of like a family having influence, the difference in worlds.
Yeah.
Obviously, they were full-grown adults, so they weren't being like children about it. But like that whole kind of idea of like my family's ties and like I can screw you over by stopping business, and I'm the firstborn, so I should be next in line. Like that's all so common with these kinds of characters. And we honestly have not explored that at all with the host club because we've just been having fun shenanigans. We haven't been, no one has been talking about how they're worried because their place in line isn't secure, or, you know, they're worried about taking over the business or whatever. They all just kind of seem fine.
They're very chill.
Yeah.
And the only one who like kind of reaches into that even a little bit is Kyoya. He's got like one pinky finger in there, but he always does it when he's like, I'm going to protect the club using my family influence and private police force.
And even so, he's never shown that he's insecure about it. He always seems to kind of be like, yep, I'm rich. I can do this.
Yeah, like, this is what I have access to.
So yeah, it was interesting to see a common, I don't want to say trope, but a common theme with these kinds of characters be explored through a minor character that was also portrayed as like a villain in this case.
And, like, he's doing villainous shit.
Yeah.
Like, I think about those two poor club members that were with him. And
I know, I felt so bad. They seemed so enthusiastic to be making newspaper.
Little bowl cut boy holding the bag of ice by a string to his president's head. Oh.
I do want to add, you said you had another idea for how this episode would go. Care to elaborate?
I would love to, because I was like sure this is what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, if I was writing the episode, this is what I would have done.
Okay.
So we keep everything up until the part where Haruhi is being interviewed by Newspaper Boy.
Okay.
And Newspaper Boy is like, oh, well, like, tell me about Swo's darker side, or like, tell me about this, and Haruhi's like, no, like, he doesn't have one.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to the point where he's like, I'm gonna make up lies about them.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to publish that Haruhi was secretly a girl, guessing, like lying.
Oh,
like he doesn't think it's true.
The plot.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. Yeah. He thinks that he's doing a big lie,
salacious
but they're
rumor.
like,
And then it's like, and
Yeah.
then so this whole thing like changes where the host club is like, we gotta stop this from being printed.
Oh.
And I was like, it felt like it was gonna lead to like a dramatic, like, we have to stop the newspaper press.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting. And I just
Yeah.
imagined Haruhi wouldn't be involved because she'd be like, okay. Like,
Yeah. She'd be like, oh darn.
like, drat.
Yeah.
My debt, I guess.
My debt,
I
guess.
because it'd be like that.
Yeah. Which, I just want to say, I don't understand why we haven't just considered maybe having one female host is, like, not a bad idea at all.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we just, like, expand? Like, we would broaden our market. Like, come on.
Maybe that'll be a prediction for another episode, is Haruhi playing their own twin. And it's just that thing where you have the curtain.
Oh, that is
and he's
a
like,
classic.
oh, bro, stop.
Yeah. They're like, wait, Haruhi's a girl? I'm like, no, this is Haruhi's twin sister with the same haircut
This
as
is
him.
Huriha.
This is Haru.
Haruha.
Haruka.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Hiruhi. Hiruha.
Also, this episode is not necessarily about Kyoya. I wouldn't call it a Kyoya episode, which is why you get to continue points for your theory of
Hanging
never
by
a
a
Kyoya.
thread. Yeah.
That's one more mark for never a Kyoya episode prediction.
We're doing it.
But we do kind of get some hints towards Kyoya and how he thinks and stuff about him. More information, I think, than we've gotten in the past.
Yeah, he was the most resistant to doing this thing that Tamaki wanted, but he also caved.
Yeah.
And the twins at the end have a line about, like, it was very obvious to all of us except for Tamaki.
Yeah.
And I feel like Kyoya being, like, the most perceptive and the most protective was very much like, I know this is how it's going to end before it's going to begin.
Yeah.
And so he took those steps to make sure that everybody would be safe.
Yeah.
So it's adding a layer to, like, his proactivity, I think, as a character.
Yeah. I think also Kyoya was probably the character that had the most contact with the newspaper club this time around. And there was an interesting kind of, like, almost as though, because the newspaper president was like, Tamaki is my mortal enemy, there was almost this kind of like, well, maybe I can get Kyoya on my side, because Kyoya's been, he thinks that, like, Tamaki is power over Kyoya, but in reality,
Kyoya has the power
Kyoya's
over
mom.
everyone. Yeah.
Like, come on, everyone. So it was interesting to kind of see the interaction they had that was just the president talking at Kyoya, but Kyoya kind of being like, okay.
Part of me was like, this guy's talking about being, like, second in line or passed over, and I'm like, does he know something about Kyoya that, like, he thinks he's gonna relate to? Like, maybe is Kyoya in this position of, like, yeah, I'm being passed over, but I actually don't care. Like, that doesn't affect my life. I thought that would be super interesting, but that's reading into things that aren't even there. That's just me doing another AU. But we'll never know, because there's never gonna be a Kyoya episode.
That's right. Maybe we'll have to keep watching to find out. Or maybe there will never be a Kyoya episode.
Well, he does have a line this episode that I adored that was, we're not like you. At the very end, where the newspaper club president is like, Tamaki must be controlling you guys through his family influence, because we learn, he's influential at the school.
Yeah.
Like, he could just make people do what he wants if he were a shitbird.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's not. And Kyoya's like, see, the fundamental difference between you and us is that we're not motivated by greed and the quest for power, because we just like each other.
Yeah, he's like, surprise, surprise, some people want to have fun in school. I know it's a crazy concept, but it is possible to just enjoy hanging out with your friends.
Your heart will never be open to red light, green light.
Aw, man.
The light in your heart will always be red.
Oh no.
No one will ever approach until you turn it green.
No, please, someone has to cut the line. So tropes. So we kind of have this I think the whole one that fuels the plot of this episode is the whole, like, get the dirt,
Yeah.
find the secret, we're gonna get you and prove that you're actually terrible.
Yeah, we
It's a
know
pretty-
already, but we're gonna find the evidence.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Trying to, like, prove that someone's awful. And then we have the president of the newspaper club has, like, decided that Tamaki is his rival, even though Tamaki has no idea that there's a rivalry happening at all.
Love that.
So there's this kind of, like, projected mortal enemy.
There's nothing better than, like, the trope of somebody, like, firing arrows at somebody who's walking, and they just keep walking their regular speed.
yeah.
It's like thump, 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 like right behind them.
Yeah.
It's like your all your best efforts don't even register.
Yeah.
To me.
I feel like this dynamic plays out a lot of different ways, but specifically in, like, the shoujo rom-com genre, it's often, like, a love rival. Like, you're my rival for love! And the other person is like, what?
Yeah.
I'm just here. They have a crush on me. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, dude.
But supposedly that's not, unless there was a secret that maybe both of them have a crush on the truth.
Ooh, can we make a shoujo newspaper anime
Yeah, oh, absolutely. We can.
called "Having a Crush on the Truth"?
Having a crush on the truth. Extra, extra.
And they're-
Remember when we did? Remember when I at least did an awful accent at the
I
beginning?
can only do Michael. Michael.
Okay. But also we have the development of Tamaki's special move.
Yeah, he had. I was wondering if this was taken like directly from something because it seems like such a specific reference. But he's got like his hurricane kick that he does twice and injures the newspaper club president.
I think he just watches anime.
Yeah, you know,
he wants to have a special.
He is a
move.
shonen.
Yeah. Which very funny when you first mentioned this trope. My first thought was the puppy dog eyes being his special move.
Secret special move.
A secret, but that one's only unlockable in times of crisis.
His sadness meter has to be filled.
Exactly, in order for that one to become an option.
Very good. Woof.
Oh man. Anyway, speaking of tropes, Jaren, what do you think is gonna happen in the next episode? Episode 15.
Oh wow, we're really
I
getting through
know. If we were watching Coffee Prince, we'd almost be done.
these. Holy snap.
Isn't that wild?
That is wild.
All right.
So my prediction is, I'm gonna call this "Don't You Know Who I Am?"
Oh.
And going off the theme of like, because I never think that the episodes are gonna be like back to back relating to each other, like
Yeah.
with the pool and then the beach episode really threw me.
Except for when you assumed that after Alice in Wonderland we would have Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
Which didn't happen, by the way.
That was a bit of a Hail Mary.
But that's okay because your prediction for not a Kyoya episode is still going strong.
Going strong. So I think that like Haruhi is gonna be on campus and there's gonna be an old man there, like maybe stuck in the pool or the pond. And she's gonna help him out and he's gonna be like, "Oh, can you help me find and wander around and like talk about his grandchildren or his son?" And then we're gonna be like, at the end of the episode, Tamaki's gonna be like, "Haruhi, there you are. I've been trying to reach you all day. Grandpa, what are you doing here?"
Grandpa.
And it's gonna be like, "Oh," and then it's just gonna be like, she pictures him with a blonde wig on, and it's just Tamaki's old man face on a body.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love the "Don't you know who I am?"
Don't you know who I am?
Takes off sunglasses. No, now. And they're like, what?
I still don't know who you are.
I still don't.
I don't have a good memory for faces.
For faces. Oh my god, that's true. Also with the finding out that Tamaki is the chairman's son, we also had the mention of Haruhi is a scholarship student, so it's due to Tamaki's family that she's able to attend school here at all, which is kind of like an interesting layer to the dynamic.
We're finally adding back some of that Coffee Prince financial domination aspect.
You dead. You know, okay, so Don't You Know Who I Am? Excellent. I'll mark you down for that in this pen that I definitely have in my hand right now.
It's a nice
and
pen.
I'm writing real words.
Scribble, scrabble.
With ink. Listen to it. Now I have two pens, sorry.
Here is ambidextrous.
Which is true. Thank you very much. It also means I can't tell my left from my right without using the little L. Fun fact. Anyway, I think that's all we have for you guys this episode. So, as always, thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you next time for episode 15. Ooh, ew, 15.
Wiki wiki wah. Bye.
All right.
All right, get on out of here now.
Get your papes.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Love you. Mwah.
Mwah. Love.
Love.